To make your scrunchie, you're going to cut a strip of fabric down to 5 inches. It can be as long as you want it to be. I've got one here that's 20 inches. I've got one that's like 22. However many inches you want. The more inches you have, the fluffier your scrunchie will be. So, take your piece and you're going to fold it in half, going right sides together. Just like this. And I'm going to pin it so I leave about 2 inches undone. Or maybe about 3 inches. I'm just eyeballing this. Right to about here. Leave this open, but line up your edge. There. And put a pin here at this end. And do the same thing on the other end. I wouldn't iron this in half, because then it'll leave a crease, but if you want to, I mean, you can, but I don't like to have a crease right around the outside edge of my scrunchie. Alright, so you put your pins in. I'm going to put one more here just in the middle, just to hold it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to sew between the pins and not sew the ends out. So we're going to start here at this pin and end down here at this pin. And I'm just going to sew this at the outside edge of my foot, so about 3/8 of an inch. And drop my foot on top. Pull out the pin, and then we're just going to make sure we backstitch. And then we're going to sew down along the side. And take out your other pin. And then when I get to this pin, we're going to stop sewing and backstitch this side. Alright, and then I'm going to take this, and I'm going to clip my strings, and then we're going to flip this whole thing right side out. Those two, these two, and then we're just going to take it and flip it. Oh. Then, once you get it all nice and flipped right side out, then we need to make this into a circle so it turns into a scrunchie. Alright, so to sew our circle together, what we're going to do is we're going to take those two ends where we don't have it sewn yet, and we're going to take these and kind of twist this one around this way, line them up right sides together, and we're going to sew these two ends together across here to make it into a tube. Now, careful to make sure that it's not all super twisted. You don't want it to be too twisty. But we're going to take the ends, line this side up together here, and then we're going to kind of swing this down around here. This is why you don't want to make your hole too small, because if you make your hole too small, it gets kind of hard to sew this up. But we're going to take it and line up our two sides. Then we're going to take it to the machine, and we're going to sew this up at the outside edge of our foot as well. Make sure you backstitch. Pull out the pins as you go. Alright, then once you have that, then this part kind of goes inside here. If you want to iron this part, you can, just to kind of hold those two guys together. But that is basically your little scrunchy piece. Now, to make it scrunch, you need a piece of elastic. So I cut this piece of elastic. It's just the width of my wrist. You guys can make it longer or smaller, depending on how big you want your elastic to be. But then what we're going to do is we're going to take it and thread it through our hoop here. And one of the little tools that I have for this is called a bodkin. So I'm going to grab one of those. And it looks like this. It's got a little clampy piece on one end. And then all you have to do is just slide down the little opening here. It opens up. Kind of looks like a pair of tweezers. Then you're going to take it, you're going to hook it onto the end of your elastic. You're going to push this all the way down until it gets nice and tight. So that way that elastic is now attached to that. And then you're going to take it and you're going to start scrunching it through. Yeah, you don't want to lose the ends of your elastic, so that's why I kind of like to leave a long tail over here. But you're going to take it and slide it through all the way till you get to the other side again. Then you're going to take it and pull. Don't lose this tail. You want to make sure you hold on to it. And then we're going to scrunch it up just like this. You're going to undo this guy. And then we're going to sew the two ends of your elastic together. I like to take it and overlap it just like this. However you want to do it. You can tie them into a knot too if you want to. If you make them long enough, you can do that. And then what I'm going to do is slide it onto my machine like this. And then I'm just going to sew down the middle of the elastic. And just put a nice little back stitch in there. Nope, it's coming undone. Let's see if I can get it to go. Put a pin in it, just kind of hold it in place until I get it under the foot. Yep. Then slide that underneath. Drop my foot on top. Now I can remove my pin. And then we're just going to take this and sew this together. Make sure you backstitch. And then you're going to pull it out. You cut those strings now. And then test it and make sure that it's not going to come undone, which one's holding secure. And then we're going to take the ends of your fabric here and we're going to sew this hole shut. So to do that, we're just going to fold it in half. And I'm only going to fold over about 1/4 of an inch on each side. So come in, fold in. So all I'm doing is tucking the edges in like this. So about 1/4 of an inch. Do the same thing on the other side. Then line them up together and pin them just like this. Next section, and one last little bit right here. And this right here, what we're going to do right now is called top stitching. So we're going to top stitch the edge of this shut right here. And then we're going to line this up with the red line inside of our foot. It's nice and tiny. And all we're going to do is just sew right along the edge of it. Make sure you back stitch. Take out your pins as you go. And then keep going. Not you, I'm talking to my camera. Keep going, and then once you're done with that, that'll sew it shut, and you have now made a scrunchie.